A lot of people don't understand when I say that Mexicans are culturally racist. They think that I'm calling us openly racist.
My very first boyfriend, he was from Mexico. We would talk on the phone and stuff like that, and his mother knew me. He didn't tell his mother that I was black. She asked what my name was. Oh, her name is Chloe. Oh, she has such a pretty name. I can't wait to meet her. And she just, the look, I will never forget that look. It's like I went to the bathroom and I started crying because I was like, she hates me. That following week, Christian said he couldn't talk to me anymore. And I was just like, why? I just don't like you anymore. And I was just like, okay. As we grew up and I changed school districts, I found out that it was the same thing. Like, everywhere, you know?
There's a phrase that we use. It is very common in Latin American countries. The phrase is mejorar la raza. Okay, mejorar la raza means improve the race. The way for us in Latin American countries to improve the race is by whitening it. When he brought this black woman with bad hair, you are not improving. You're worsening. You're degrading. You're downgrading our race. You're disrespecting our race because we're supposed to lighten it. If you get with a white woman, preferably, chances are that our next generation is not going to be as dark. It's going to be lighter. Hopefully, blue, green eyes. Oh my God. And the more that we get with each generation with lighter skinned people, the more we improve the race. That is so common in every single Latin American country. In every Spanish speaking country, mejorar la raza, it is a thing. Like the Nigerian in the video who said he wants a white woman because he wants white kids. You see, a lot of white women today, they feel so attractive because of all the attention they get from brown and black men. But what they don't realize is that when we as brown and black men in this particular case, we suffer from internalized racism. We hate our skin. A person who hates themselves, who hates their reflection, can't love somebody else. So don't feel so beautiful when a brown and black man is looking at you and is desiring you because, like the Nigerian guy said, when I asked him, why do you want a white woman? Because I want white kids. You see, he didn't mention anything about a woman's attributes, no passion, no nothing. His reason for wanting a white woman was, I want to eradicate my own race. You are only worth your womb for me to plant my seed so that my child could come out hopefully light skinned, meaning not ugly like this. You cannot think that you're being loved by somebody who suffers from self-hate.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren
and I'm Maureen.
Yeah, so in today's episode we're going to be reacting to a video of a Latino man who tries to explain why there's such a strong anti-black sentiments going on in the Latina community.
Yeah, and this, by the way, you guys, it wasn't said by anybody in the black community. Right. This is the admissions of our Latino man, you know, his own admissions that there exists racism in the Latin community.
Yeah, and this you can see, it happens even from their own homes while they're still young. It's drilled in them that being black or having a darker shade of skin is something that will lead to inferiority, and you are better off having a lighter skin or being married to a whiter man.
And this is why you'll hear most of them, if not all of them, usually refer to this saying that I think it translates in English that
mejorar la raza, something like that. It translates to you know, improving their race,
and most of them believe that when you marry a white person, that is how you improve your race. But when you marry a black person or a darker skinned person, you are downgrading your race. Most of them believe that. But why do they believe that? Let's watch this video and then we come back and talk about it.
We are culturally racist, and this is how. Part of our culture is to frown upon dark-skinned people. It's been passed down to us by the Spaniards, by our colonizers, by the people that conquered us, taught us that dark skin is inferior, light skin is superior. We were taught that. It was passed down to us, meaning it's part of our culture. We are culturally racist in this aspect. That doesn't mean I go out in the streets and want to hurt black people because they're black.
Right.
It means that our teachings, the way we're raised, is that we are raised to subconsciously believe that dark skin is inferior and light skin is superior. Another element in our Mexican culture is Univision News, Univision Channel. that channel is run by white Latinos. The ideologies and subliminal teachings that they teach is very similar to Fox News. White supremacist-ish. They make efforts to depict dark-skinned people as criminals, that whenever they even bother sharing news about dark-skinned people is when they do something wrong. But yet, when they want to mention anything that has to do with light-skinned people, specifically white people, is to depict them as them doing good deeds around the world, feeding the homeless, etc. You get it.
Yeah.
My grandmother was visiting one day from Mexico. She's never lived in the United States. She has no idea what life is out here. She was watching Univision News, where they depicted a black American committing a crime. She turned around and said, "Oye, estos negros solo estorban, ¿verdad? Hey, these black folks, all they do is get in the way, huh?" Here's the interesting part. She's never met a black person in her life. She has no idea what it's like to interact with a black person, but yet she already has an opinion about black people as a whole. Why? Because part of our culture, in this particular case, Univision News, since we were children, we have been subliminally taught the blacks are bad criminals, etc. And whites are good, decent, giving, saviors, etc. We're taught that. Hearing her express such a hateful remark about a people that I knew for a fact she's never even interacted with. You don't even know a black person. How dare you come here to this country and have a whole opinion about these people? I resented her deeply for it. I regret it because you can't hate her for that. She never got the opportunity to learn what you have. I got the privilege of learning things that I self-taught. Since she's been a child, she's been working in the fields. Never had the opportunity to sit and read a book to educate, nothing. All she ever has to teach her anything was this racist, biased news program. How could I blame her? She doesn't even know any better. And even if I sat with her today, I don't even think I could help her understand at this point, because she has lived 80 years worth of only understanding this mentality.
Welcome back, guys. So let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. There's a guy who mentioned there about the grandmom. He mentioned something about the grandmom never having interacted with a black American, yet she had such strong sentiments, and she truly genuinely believed that black Americans
ruin everything everywhere they go.
Exactly. And this she was getting from a television, not that because she had a running or an experience with a black American.
Yeah, and this just goes to show, guys, what we always tell you. And this, this was a woman all the way from Mexico. The grandson was saying that she had a bad view of black Americans because of what they watch on TV. And this just goes to emphasize further what we usually tell you. Here in Africa, a long time went by, Africans consuming content whereby we were being spoon-fed to believe that African Americans were dangerous and violent, and nothing good could come out of them, and uneducated, dealers. And if you find any of the black community graduating to higher, education, or even getting a good job in life, it's by a mere coincidence. That is the kind of picture. You guys, I'm not joking. The way they show how poor Africans are, the way they show you guys how poor Africans are, it's the same way, with the same magnitude they show Africans how dangerous black Americans are. And it's not just Africans, because they also are saying that over in Mexico and wherever else,
any other Latino speaking countries,
black people are just portrayed as bad people,
right? And did you realize what the guy was saying, what the colonial people did to them? It really stuck with them to such a point where, and you realize even in Brazil, was it in Brazil, where they really wanted to eradicate people of, dark-skinned people, and they started encouraging Caucasians to come into the country. Was it? No, it was Argentina.
Yeah.
And they did this also they could just whiten out the population. So you can imagine if a Latin country does this, and you can imagine those ones who now have come out on the other side, and through generations they've come out and they've managed to bring that white gene to be very, very strong. You can imagine those ones are the very, very, very same people in society who are
discriminating against the dark-skinned people
in the community. And this is
even here in Kenya, you guys, light-skinned people, not just like any ordinary light-skinned people, the biracial ones,
and Indians. Yeah. So this guy was saying, I was talking about how the very light-skinned Mexicans on a TV show, whatever he said, and he was saying in this they didn't used to encourage black positive excellence, black excellence or positive things to do with the black community. The only time they would air anything to do with the black community was when a crime was committed, and this in turn painted the whole community.
And this in turn messed with the Latino community psychology towards black people. And they used to say he said that when any white piece of information would come to their televisions, it was as white being saviors,
well, them doing good things in Africa. Let me tell you something. There are things that have been done by palm-colored people, and they don't normally air these things because you'll find. Do you remember the case of Sage? The 19-year-old girl who, you know.
Yes, we don't want to mention it because we will be.
Yeah, but you guys, I suppose that you've seen the videos. Let me tell you something. If it was a black man who had committed the crime, do you know how much attention that video would have the case would have gotten? Right now I'm not seeing any, like, it died down, but I believe there's somewhere where people are still talking about it. But if it was a black man,
and then you know what I've realized is that especially people of our kind, we can't freely talk about what certain palm-colored people have mentioned, and this you're saying by experience, because there's a lot of censorship. We've had some
videos taken down.
Yes.
You know what really breaks my heart is okay, there's this thing that people normally say: don't go out dating a guy or a lady who will end up hiding you from their family. If they can't stand up for your relationship and they can't stand up for you, you'd have no business dating such a person.
Right.
And the first lady, you know, I believe in relationships you normally have red flags, and this lady, you know, if it took him introducing you to his mom, and then after that he started, like, he broke things off with you, then he never was in love with you. You understand?
Right. And
I believe was stronger than
I also usually believe that before you start dating a different community from your own, at least do some research about this particular race or community. Look at their belief systems and whatnot, what you will be able to compromise and what you will not be able to compromise. Have a checklist, in short, of what you can stand and what you cannot stand. And having this in mind, if you decide to dip your toe in the other race, at least go into the relationship knowing that there are these and these things that they might do differently from your race. And if you start seeing those red flags, as Maren has said,
and I do believe it was very easy for this boy to leave the girl, because boy's mom tells boy, you can imagine what boy's mom told him for boy to leave the girl. I have a feeling it has something to do with what we said earlier in the video, you know, improving their race. It only took those words for him to decide, okay, well, I'm gonna try my luck somewhere else.
And you know, the funniest thing is that when these Mexicans, you know, go to marry white people, white people also just take them for granted the way they take black people for granted, you know.
But I've realized
these white people, they like, not all of them, of course, not all of them. Some of them, they like to cheat a lot because they know you already hold them in a high pedestal, that when they do something wrong to you, they know that you're going to forgive them automatically. So they mess around because you are holding them in high regards because you want to upgrade your gene.
But I've realized there's a crop of generation that's coming out. Guys, tell me what you think about this, or if you've noticed it at all. The Spanish men, while they're trying to date white women, I've noticed that the Spanish women are going for black men.
The opposite, yeah?
Exactly.
So Spanish men are trying to date blue-eyed, blonde hair women, but Spanish girls, most of them are running towards the black direction,
Right.
and this just
If not Arabic guys.
yeah, funny.
Anyway, you guys let us
Anyway,
know about that.
Yeah.
And then,
So guys, let us know what you think about this episode, and if you're new to this channel, please kindly remember to subscribe to our channel. But in general, just let us know what you think about this episode.
yeah,
So-
because I do believe that even dark-skinned Mexicans don't have it easy. They
Yeah.
themselves normally say on social media that they don't want to
Mexicans
recognize.
discriminate against each
their
other, against their own. Yeah,
So you guys, we are gonna leave it at that. Let us know what you think about this episode. Let's catch you on the next one.